You know, a lot of people have compared me to Billy Mays over the years, and I will say that I find that to be a compliment. However, Billy Mays, a legend as he was also very much onto something that we need here in the prepping community. Let's talk about why OxiClean is actually one of the best long-term prepping cleaning agents that you can put aside. Here's the thing about OxiClean to keep in mind. It doesn't expire. It has no expiration date. It will last indefinitely as long as it's stored properly. And by stored properly, I mean in a cool, dry environment. And obviously, if it gets exposed to moisture, it's going to have some problems. But if you can avoid that, OxiClean can literally last forever, which you can't say about most other cleaning agents. And we all know that things like pool shock can extend the life of bleach, and there's a lot of other options out there. Certain types of vinegar can last quite a while as well. But at the end of the day, there's not many that literally don't ever go bad. And OxiClean doesn't. It doesn't expire. So here's the thing. What can you use it for though? And there's some SHTF style applications that we should keep in mind when it comes to a cleaning agent like OxiClean. And I just wanted to make this video to give you all something else to think about when it comes to storing up things for preparedness, because it's not always about food or ammunition or about a lot of the other things that we like to prep. You also need to keep a clean household or keep yourself clean, because sometimes a long-term SHTF could be you staying in your house for a year or two or who knows how long. And you need to maintain that level of upkeep in order to stay healthy and maintain a healthy environment, right? So OxiClean Versatile Stain Remover, right? That's what this particular product is called. In powder form, lasts pretty much forever. So make sure if you're going to go out and get some OxiClean, you get the powdered form version, okay? Now here's some practical things you can use it for that could help you throughout any kind of an emergency situation. You can use it to do laundry and clean your clothes. Now it's not necessarily a laundry detergent, however it does remove stains and it will get your clothes clean from whatever was soiling them to begin with. So that's a big one, especially if you have to go to doing manual laundry using like a scrub board, because maybe the power's gone or you can't afford the power that it would take to run a washing machine or whatever it might be. So just keep that in mind, that it can at least do that function for you. And there are some versions that actually help deodorize and things like that too. Now, there are other cleaning applications it has besides fabric or clothing. You can actually scrub toilets and sinks with it as well in your bathroom. And the reason behind that is because you can use it similarly to baking soda. You basically make a paste with the water and you scrub whatever it is that you want to get off of the toilet or of the sink, whatever it might be, and it cleans it up nicely, and there you go. You have now a clean toilet and a clean sink once again. And we're talking about things that actually matter, because yes, it might not disinfect, but it does clean, especially using that abrasion and friction, which is honestly what gets a lot of things clean to begin with, more so than even the chemical antibacterial nature of some of the cleaning agents that are out there. So keep that in mind. It's still very important to maintain that cleanliness, even if it doesn't necessarily sanitize, right? Now, you can also use it for your floors. And we all know during an SHTF scenario, the floors are going to be disgusting. But what's great about OxiClean is you can use it on tile floors, and you can use it to clean grout as well, in the same way you would clean the toilet or the bathroom sink, using it in kind of like a paste form. Or you can use it to clean carpet too, because that's a big part of what people use it for, is actually cleaning stains on a carpet. And I think during a long-term emergency, when there may be no resupply or access to basic amenities, keeping things tidy is going to be a big deal. Being able to clean your carpet or your tile with the same cleaning agent is kind of a big deal. It can definitely keep things nice and tidy. Now, a lot of people say, well, why would you care about that during an SHTF emergency? When things take a very long time and you're with your family and your 4-year-old decides to throw up all over the floor, are you going to leave it like that? Are you going to just let throw up permeate into your floor? Or would you prefer to clean it and have a clean environment to maintain your survivability in? These are things to keep in mind. Now, another cool thing that you can use OxiClean for is for things that you shouldn't wash generally, right? So when I'm saying that, I'm talking about things like plate carriers, backpacks, boots, things that are still based out of fabric but don't necessarily end up in the washing machine. This can still take care of those products for you too. So if we're talking about that kind of emergency, well, there's a good chance you're getting stuff like your plate carrier or your boots or your backpack very dirty. So there you go, another option, and keep that well maintained too. Because honestly, you can run into some disgusting stuff out there in the elements that you might not want to just leave all over your equipment. It can do that for you, whereas laundry detergents and things like that can actually break down some of those materials depending on what your backpack or your plate carrier is made out of, whereas OxiClean is relatively gentle and can at least clean up whatever stains you might have gotten on there. Of course, always check with your manufacturer or check with the type of fabric that's used to make the materials or make the plate carrier or whatever else it is that you're using before you use any kind of cleaning agent on it, just because some things aren't even allowed to get wet. So always do your due diligence first, of course, but I'm just letting you know that for a lot of those things, this can be used on them. Now, another reason why that matters, and another reason why you might need to use this on, I don't know, like a plate carrier or something, is because it can get rid of blood stains. And yeah, I don't know, could just have some blood stains sometimes. Who knows what could really cause that? But what I will say is that if there are blood stains or there is blood, it is good to get rid of blood in many ways and for many reasons. Sometimes you just don't want blood to still be there when the lights turn back on. I don't know, you tell me. But what I'm trying to let you know is that it can handle things like blood stains. But keeping that in mind, it also takes care of most bodily fluids that would stain a garment. And when it comes to long-term SHTF, keep in mind that there's a lot of people who will be using things like reusable cloth diapers, and there will even be people using reusable feminine hygiene products, because regardless of how you feel about a long-term apocalyptic scenario, women are still going to have their periods. That's just how life works. So this can actually help clean some of those items as well and keep them up and running and keep people feeling good about the things that they have to use, even if they don't want to. It's just how it works, right? Baby's got to wear diapers. Well, this will at least keep the diapers clean in between the messes, right? Now, here's some things to keep in mind if you do stock up on some OxiClean, which I think is a good idea. It doesn't expire and it can clean a lot of different things for you, right? Well, there are things you shouldn't use it for, okay? So it's not great for metal. Like, don't clean your guns with it and stuff because, well, it's in the name, oxy, right? Oxygen is one of the main ingredients in OxiClean in the sense of how it actually cleans things. And adding oxygen to metal generally creates a good environment for rust. So I wouldn't use it on metal things, in all honesty, especially if we're talking long-term SHTF, when those metal items might not get any additional love and care after the fact. The other thing to keep in mind is it's not good for wool. So, you know, your merino wool socks and stuff, probably don't use OxiClean on it. It's not really good for leather either, and we all want or have some nice leather jackets that we don't want to ruin, right? It's not good for silk. So if you're walking around in your kimono during the apocalypse, first off, you're probably a Rush fan, and second off, kudos to you, but don't use OxiClean on your kimono, okay? And it's not good for jewelry either. So don't use it to clean your wedding ring or your fancy bracelet or whatever else it is. And it's probably, you know, a lot of the same reasons as why you don't use it on metal, but you also don't want to ruin jewelry because the whole point of jewelry is maintaining it, right? So let's not do that. And by the way, it's also not good on finished wood. So if you're going to use it on like your nice furniture, because it's the only cleaner you have left after a year of the apocalypse, well, it might ruin it. So keep that in mind too. But all in all, it has a lot of other great uses. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention because, you know, we talk a lot about guns, we talk a lot about food, we talk a lot about water, but you also have to keep a clean environment, right? And I think we all found out during 2020, cleaning supplies disappeared like overnight. I don't know if you remember this, but it was impossible to find Clorox wipes. It was impossible to find disinfectant sprays, and it was very hard to find, in many cases, laundry detergent. It was hard to find because people were stocking up. They were all catching up on all their laundry, and everybody was worried about if they'd be able to access it again or not. So all those things disappeared quickly, which I would expect to disappear again during any type of scenario like that. And OxiClean, like I said, you can sit it on the shelf forever. As long as it's in a nice, cool and dry environment and it doesn't get exposed to moisture, I mean, you're good to go. So it's not really a bad investment if you never even actually use it, because you're not going to have to replace it in a year or 6 months or whatever the shelf life is of your general detergents and bleach and things like that. It'll last forever. And don't forget, yeah, there are ways to get bleach that'll last longer and stuff. Like I said, pool shock and all that good stuff. But you don't always want to put bleach on everything, right? So this is something that you can put on the things you wouldn't want to put bleach on that won't ruin those items, but still maintains a level of cleanliness that would be nice to have. I wanted to bring this to your attention. Hopefully you found this helpful. And this is also a little bit of an homage to Billy Mays because, man, I'll tell you, on the early parts of this channel, everybody was like, this guy's just like Billy Mays. And I'm okay with that. So without anything else to say about OxiClean being a great option for a cleaning agent for SHTF scenarios, especially related to long-term prepping, that's going to be it for Billy Mays.